conspiracy or two. All here on the GCRX Radio and Podcast Network.
In the process of switching studio software, so you just get to see me just going to start things off tonight. So I do want to welcome you guys in the Metro. We're coming to you live from Studio B right here in downtown Granite. And some of you might see here in just a minute when Engineer Bill throws that overlay up there. Tonight's show is actually brought to you by Weather Vane Ice Cream here in Granite City. They've got 3 locations, and let me tell you what, these guys have been around for quite some time. And, you know, just the fact that they've been around so long shows that they know really how to take care of their customers, and they know what the customers want. But not only that, they're year round. So it's not just ice cream in the summer and the fall. You're actually getting a lot of other stuff that's coming out of their kitchens over there. So I want to thank them specifically for joining us tonight. If you'd like to head out to see them, they've got 3 locations. They have 2 here in Granite City, one on Maryville Road and one over on Washington Avenue. And they have one in Bethalto. So if you're up that way, check them out also. And the chili is really good over there. Yeah, love the chili. And they got a deep fried taco, which is great as well. So, yep. And they're locally owned, small business, no big corporations going out there, which is awesome. And so, yeah, check them out. And just to remind you guys that it looks like we're kind of frozen right now. It's kind of the way it feels outside too, you know, just kind of a little bit of a freezer out there.
Everything is broken.
Everything is broken. So anyway, speaking of broken souls, speaking of, we actually have a guest for you tonight. He's kind of a guest. Mr. Potty Mouth Price is joining us this evening.
What the f*** did you just say?
He actually wanted me to introduce him that way.
Wow. You just start. Really?
Yeah, really. Listen, I love the show. I was here last week.
You're
Hi,
kind of one
everybody.
of our biggest fans.
Hi.
I think you actually got a badge for being a top fan last week, didn't you?
I did. I did. That was pretty dope.
Well, he obviously got a coffee cup.
He did get a coffee cup.
This was a courtesy of In the Metro. For my first appearance.
In the Metro. Who are those guys?
Well, you got it from In the Metro. Wow.
Oh, that'd be us.
That would be us. Yes,
that would be us.
That'd be us.
I love it.
I think you stole it.
I love it. I love how you just said us. You included yourself in that.
Well, yeah.
So
I feel
awesome.
part of the family. You know, 62040.
Yeah.
You know,
LLC.
I'm just really salty that you're holding a cup of coffee and you didn't get me one.
So
Thanks.
for what it's worth,
it's not worth nothing.
No, it's tea.
Oh,
first of all,
never mind.
But for being hot, that's pretty cold, man. That's why I'm the host. So yeah, I want to thank the guys last week for mostly hockey. You know, they've got that Thursday night broadcast, which is pretty cool. And they loaned us Daryl last week while Engineer Bill was out conquering the world.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Don't you love conventions, though?
So there's just a certain conference high. That's actually a thing. And the lineup that they had in this one definitely made it that way. You come back feeling pumped to do something. We're not sure what, but we're going to do something.
Anyone famous?
Head full of steam.
No, a few guys. I've already forgot the guy's name, so that's how famous he was. But
Gotcha.
He was a leadership guy and had a good book that they gave out to everybody. And
was it Gary Vaynerchuk?
No,
was he there?
No, some guy that and I feel really bad because he did a great job, but it was a guy that yeah, he did
apparently not such a great job.
Left an impression. No, he did. There's some dude. No, they probably never mind. I'm not gonna say that. But he was a rookie in the NFL for the Chicago Bears, broke his ankle in the first game, and then was out for like 9 months. And of course, as a rookie in the NFL, if you're out for 9 months in the beginning, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. And so he went on to have some struggles in life and learned a lot of really good leadership things. Wrote a book, good stuff. Nice. Great motivational speech during the conference. And that's probably one of the things that I remember the most. The rest of the stuff was things that our company is going to release and new upcoming awesomeness and then motivational. This is what we need to do. Rah, rah, rah.
Well, I got to meet, speaking of NFL, like famous people who like were injured in the NFL. I want to say the guy's name is Dan. I can't remember his last name. And if you're an NFL fan at all, you might, who I'm talking about. But the Kansas City Chiefs, Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he actually he was doing a stunt at Arrowhead, fell off and fell down, broke a whole bunch of stuff. Like he was done, but then he went through his rehabilitation and everything, and he's a Christian man. He did a whole lot of books and motivational speaking and things like that. And he's actually kind of a cool guy, but he does stuff similar to that.
Was it Terrible Terry Tate?
Terrible Terry Tate? No.
Does anybody remember Terrible Terry Tate?
I do not remember Terrible
Terry Tate. You got to Google him.
Wait a minute. TTT? Yeah, I remember TTT. Triple T.
Triple T.
Oh,
so
no, I'm thinking Triple H. Wrong sport.
Yeah, Terrible Terry Tate. He was the Office linebacker. They did, I think it was Reebok, did a whole series of NFL. They collaborated with the NFL, but dude never was in the NFL. He was just an actor, but he ended up doing a bunch of commercials where he'd go in and tackle people for doing ridiculous things like not putting the recycling in the recycling, like throwing it in the trash.
This is 90s, right?
I think the 90s, late 2000s, early 2000s.
Okay, yeah,
that's ancient history now. Ancient. I said it. Do something. You won't.
You have 2 college-age kids.
I understand that. That's why I'm saying it. I have coped with the fact that I'm old. You have not.
Damn, brother, looks could kill. You'd be in a world of hurt right now.
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie. You seriously? I'm surprised you didn't fight back.
I haven't switched the camera just because of that look.
I'm surprised you didn't fight back with you're a grandfather. Like I would.
Hey, now we can cool it on the grandfather crap.
I've got 2. I'm 42 with 2 grandkids.
I had one when I was how old was I? Let's see, I'm 54. I guess I was 44. So
thanks, Jocelyn.
You got me beat.
Thanks, Jocelyn.
Hey, you know what, though?
She doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
Nope. Not
Jocelyn had to come from somewhere, and it seems like you may have been a culprit in that.
So, for what it's worth, Jocelyn and I, we met 4 or 5 years ago.
Back in the day.
Yeah, she was she's about to be 22. Yeah. I met her when she was 17. I was dating her mom, and she just had enough respect for me to call me dad.
Nice.
And now I'm pops because I will refuse to be grandpa. Like that is that is not happening. I'm too young. I look too good to be somebody's grandfather. I'm just saying. Look right here.
You do have a face made for radio.
Damn, dude.
And here we are putting that beautiful mug on the camera, though, right?
Speaking of beautiful mugs,
that's the most beautiful mug I've ever seen. That is a beautiful mug.
In the Metro.
Hold on. Metro.
We got our own reverb. We make our own effects, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we don't need no stinking soundboard.
That's right.
Nah.
Awesome. So I want to make a quick announcement. Kim's not mad at us. She's not staying away. It's not too cold for her. She's not, staying away because it's too cold. She just got a cold or something.
Oh, yeah.
Something's not jiving with her. So, our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to her and to, her husband as well, because we definitely don't want him getting sick or anything like that. But Bryan was gracious enough to step in tonight and join us so we could bring this stellar, intellectual, mind-bending conversation your way this evening.
Thank you so much.
I got to sell it in some way.
I'm like, who is he talking about? Intellectual, mind-bending?
Well, this is true. Miss Rebecca's sitting on the other side of the window tonight, so I don't know how intelligent our conversation is going to be. But
listen,
we can be jabbering idiots.
It's just because we can't get away with calling you a jackwagon.
I suppose.
A jackwagon?
Jackwagon. I didn't want to say jackass, but I just did. So
you did.
But he didn't call me a jackass.
That's okay. Okay, so we all have names on the show. So I kind of think I like Potty Mouth Price.
Oh, I do. That fits.
What do you think?
It fits very well. But I'm still proud that I didn't break the seal.
Yo.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Potty Mouth over here is the first one to drop the F-bomb on our show.
Yeah.
So
and just nonchalantly, I mean, it was great.
I was talking about slavery.
Oh, the conversation just flowed. It just flowed like he's used to talking like that. Like every day, it just flowed right out of his mouth. And pros.
Just so we're clear, I'm a Vulcan in the streets.
Nobody even
but
knows
your
what that
shirt
is.
says you're a Klingon
in the
in the
sheet.
sheets. All right.
My God.
All right. You know what, though? Michael Dorn. You know who Michael Dorn is, right?
Of
Please tell me who
course.
Michael Dorn is.
He's
Okay.
Michael Dorn.
Worf.
He's Michael Dorn.
He's
Worf,
Worf.
right.
You know, he holds the record for most episode appearances of all Star Treks. He's got 189 appearances.
That doesn't surprise me.
189 appearances where Picard and Riker basically shot him down every time.
Pretty much.
Yeah. The look of defeat, he's got that one down
Every
pat.
single time.
Every time.
I love in the last season of Picard, he was like, I thought about sending you the skulls of my conquered enemies. And it was like, but I was told it was passive aggressive. Like, what?
Shut up, Mr. Wolf.
It's like, Worf.
Okay, so
Why?
be aware tonight. We have 3 nerds in the studio,
Yo,
so
let's
you're
go.
probably going to get our nerd on a little bit. No, and that's okay because Kim can keep us on like different routes or whatever, but it may just get a little nerdy in here tonight.
It might. By the way, before we lose track,
I am white and nerdy.
Oh my God. Let's not bring Weird Al into this, okay? Matt Mayberry is the guy's name who was
All
there
right.
to speak for us. So you can book Matt now if you'd like to. I didn't put it on
Book
the
him
screen.
now.
you
Okay.
know.
All right.
No, he was
Broke his
actually
ankle in
he
the first.
destroyed his ankle, and there's actually, when I Googled him, because that's what I do, that's I guess what he looked like in the good old NFL. There was
All right. Well, he does not look happy in that picture at all.
I'll be honest, that's a combine picture.
yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I'm too lazy to put up on the screen to show you who Matt Mayberry actually looks like. You can just go mattmayberry.com.
That's okay. We've been losing viewership since I called him Potty Mouth Price.
No, that's true. Oh, you've offended.
I've offended people.
Offended.
Listen,
We've never
listen.
done that before.
No.
Come back. I'm gonna tell you why.
Hold on. Oh, all right.
Come back.
The
I'm gonna
camera's
tell
on
why.
you.
Because there's a solid chance I may drop another one. I'm gonna try not to.
See,
But
now
I
it's called
may-
premeditation.
That's
You
Now it's been
planned for it.
premeditated.
I've been really good at
Choose-
like keeping my language like at the very least PG.
Choose another colorful metaphor.
Red.
All right, Taylor Swift.
Red's a dangerous. Red's a dangerous.
I wish I would have had the camera on you for that look, bro. I recreate it. I need you to do it again. Come
Okay,
on.
you ready?
Here
Ready?
it goes. Taylor Swift. Oh.
Look, this is a T Swift free zone unless
Oh.
Pavey is on here.
Okay.
Is it
You know,
T-Swizzle?
No T swizzle.
No
Okay.
T-Swizzle?
No T Swizzle. That's okay. Now you want to talk about Debbie Gibson? We can talk about Debbie Gibson. But
Biased.
You're gonna
Wait, who's Debbie Gibson?
Oh, for love
Get
of
out.
God. And that's the show
Get
tonight,
out.
That's
guys.
specifically for
Get
that
out.
look. That was great.
security.
That was great. He was like,
Look, I said no bad language on the show tonight. All right.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah. So
It's
tell
like
us
you-
what you've been up to. We haven't seen
What you
you.
got?
Well, we've seen you, but they haven't seen you since your birth or since before your birthday.
So
how the holidays?
let's see the holidays. Let's roll the clock back. It was what, October was the last time I was here. So November rolled around, and my parents actually came out to visit, and it
From?
was from Brooklyn, New York.
Nice.
So it was a lot of fun because they just came out. My dad had never been out here. You know, it's October 31st. I pick him up, and my mom was just like, she was super embarrassed. So my dad is beginning to suffer from early onset dementia. And this comes with a host of really funny and, depending on what time of day and where you're talking, funny or sad stories. So he's walking through TSA. He's walking through. They're gonna, put your hands up and like stand there like this, and you gotta take all the things out your pockets. And they told him to take his belt off. So he started to take his pants off.
Nice.
He started to take his pants off, and then he called the guy an effing pervert.
Damn.
Did
He
he
said,
grab you by the crotch at the
no,
same
he
time,
didn't. He
or
was just
what?
like, he wants me to take my pants off. This pervert. And my mom's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. So she's like legitimately in tears because she's so sad about what has just happened. And I'm just like, oh God, I can't believe this just happened. So they were wheelchair serviced, which is what, because dad's got osteoarthritis in both knees. And he goes, to hell with this. I don't want this pervert pushing me around. So he walks to the gate.
Hey, Vince, get me on that plane earlier. slap me in a wheelchair.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for real. And
A-list
as a
preferred,
result,
buddy.
as a result, they actually called over the intercom, "Hey, could you guys show up? Because we're like, you're
Boarding.
the last two on the flight."
We're waiting for you.
Mhm. So they board with literally 2 minutes left, and they showed up. So I pull up to get them, and my dad has refused wheelchair service again.
Mm.
And yeah, so he gets in the car, and he's like, "Wow, this is a nice car." Like, he's never seen my car before. Guess what? Early onset dementia. He hasn't. Anyway, so
from a technical standpoint, he
has never seen this car before. Right. There were jokes I told him that he had never seen before, that he had never heard before. There were things that I got a chance to.
We have phantom lights in here.
It's nice. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
dun,
nice.
Dun. It's the Phantom. I was going to wear that shirt because I wasn't entirely sure if I get away with wearing this.
The Phantom of Studio B.
Right. That's okay. You know,
there it is.
If you guys would like to make a donation to get rid of the Phantom, we'll take it.
100%.
We take your credit card numbers. It's fine.
We appreciate Weathervane for helping with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Weathervane's going to help us keep the lights on here and keep the broadcast flowing. So, yeah.
I love it. So I've never had the chili at Weathervane. I'm glad you mentioned that because now
good, especially with it being cold. Oh man,
I just made homemade chili today.
Cool. So I'm stopping by after.
That's fine.
I think you better plan on a couple people coming by.
Come on by. Come on down. There's a whole pot of it. I always make enough to feed a third world country.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like third world, like Somalia, or third world, like
Afghanistan.
Mike would say Barbados, but
that's not a country. I didn't start that. I'm just continuing it. Moving on.
So my parents are from Barbados. And
I'm
they
sorry.
Came to visit.
Drink your tea.
At some point, my dad.
Do you have any crumpets with that?
No.
Do you like a biscuit?
A biscuit.
A biscuit with your tea.
With my tea.
And you can watch some telly. Governor.
All I learned from telly.
All right, this is going off the rails. All right, you were
saying.
Yeah,
so my dad, so I got them in the car, get them. My dad's like, "All right, I'm hungry. All right, cool. Let's go get something to eat." Where would you take your parents if they had never been to St. Louis before? And like, where would you go?
White Castle.
Oh God.
So they can die.
Seriously, I mean, if they've never been here before,
that's like a shock to their system, though. Like if they've never had White Castle before,
it's an experience that continues throughout the night.
No kidding.
Listen, I'm gonna say it. It's a shitty experience. Okay,
and you may not be far off there.
So I took them to Sugar Fire.
Oh, that's good.
They had never been. Like, all right, cool. Sugar Fire. Of all the Sugar Fires, the one downtown. Dad is like, "I gotta pee." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I turn my head and I say, "The restaurant's right there." And when I turn back around, he's peeing on a tree. And I'm like, "What?"
Did you say this is St. Louis, not Seattle?
St. Louis. Downtown St. Louis. Middle of the afternoon / evening.
No, that's okay.
So there are people walking by, and I'm like, "That's my dad's dick." Okay.
That's terrible.
So we go in. We have a great.
To drink my water on that.
Your laptop is now drenched.
A great dinner. And then I take him back to my place, and my dad's like he's old school. So he doesn't need the "I love yous, I'm proud of you." He doesn't need to tell you any of that.
Man, right?
Largely because I put a roof over your head and clothes on your back. What more do you want?
Yeah.
But we get back to my place.
Hug, Dad. I need a hug.
Yeah, literally a hug. First time I heard him say he was proud of me, I was in my late 30s, I think I was in my mid 30s. Was the first time that he said it. And I've just come to accept this just isn't going to happen. But during this trip, he stood in my living room. He looked around and he goes, "Yeah, you did good. You're really doing it. You really," which was his way of saying, "I'm proud of you."
Yeah.
I was like, man, this actually kind of feels good.
Did you ever feel that growing up? Did you struggle to make Dad proud? Was it something that you you struggled for his approval. You struggled to like, man, I really want this guy I want to have approval from this guy, so I feel like I've made it. Did you have that growing up?
Growing up, yes. So I am a typical anime character. Okay. Like my brother could do no wrong growing up. So my dad got my brother, my mom got my sister. That's how I felt about it. And understand me, I felt past tense about this. Now it's like, I accept my parents for who they are. I love them. I know they did the best they could with us. So it's not like I hold no grudge or kind of like I don't hold anything against them. I know they loved me. But yeah, I vied real hard for my parents' attention because my brother fell asleep during the SATs when it was out of 1600. Yeah. That mother scored a 1490 and he fell asleep.
So where's he practicing medicine at?
You would think so, right? He lives at home with my parents.
Oh, excellent.
I don't know what he does. I don't know.
Apparently making the most out of his life.
I guess. I don't know. Like I don't shame him. I'm just like,
sure.
Whatever life has taken you, you're here now. So
the question is more like, of course, we can always be like, yeah, we know that our parents loved us. We know that. And for guys, I think this is important because I think that a lot of times we kind of define ourselves by our successes measured against our fathers. As men, that's not always the case. But I know that when I was younger, that it's not so much that I was looking like, I guess I knew my dad loved me because like you said, he was not the guy to say, I love you, Charlie. That was just like him, never going to happen, but we had food, we had, a roof overhead and things like that. And at that age, I didn't necessarily know that, that's what love was from a parent of his generation or whatever.
Right.
But I did find myself a lot of times looking for, approval from him and looking for that I'm proud of you. And I think I got maybe 2 of those. Like out of the entire time that I knew him before his death, I got maybe 2 of those. And I guess maybe I should consider myself fortunate for that or whatever. But I still find myself comparing where I'm at now comparing to where he was at my age. And then you got to take in like inflation and all this other, crap into mind. And, I compare myself as a dad. I compare myself as an employee. I compare myself as, to what I've accomplished in my life and things like that. Like I really try to use him kind of as a measuring stick,
right?
To kind of see, okay, because it's every parent's dream, for your kid to do better than what you did. I mean, if my kids do better than me, man, more power. I'm proud of both of them already, but if they do better than me, then I feel that there's been some progress made in my family line,
right?
So did you ever, like with your dad, did you ever use him as kind of a measuring stick, or did you ever kind of like, this is where I need to be?
Oh God. I kind of still do.
Yeah.
So my dad had me at 38.
Okay.
I'm 42 with no natural kids of my own. And I'm like,
Are you headed down the same path?
I don't know. Like I'm the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad had my brother. So he's 20 months older than me. So he was 36. And then my sister came along 8 years after my brother. So my dad was, I think he was about my age or there's about when he had my sister. So I think about that from time to time. And it wasn't until you said that, do you kind of measure up against the old man? It's like,
not measure side by side.
Right. Like I remember what my dad was making because I learned as an adult later on, like what he was making around my age. And I think I last year came close to like quadrupling that.
Nice.
And it was like, damn. Okay. But what does that mean?
Adjust that for inflation, though.
Yeah, adjust that for inflation.
Because if my dad was making what I make now back when I was little, we would have been bougie. I'm
right,
bougie, bro.
Like Applebee's?
Oh, fancy like Applebee's.
Fancy,
but yeah. For real. Like I I found out what my dad made when I was little, and it's kind of astonishing because you look at that and you're like, oh, that's so much money.
Mhm.
And I guess back then it kind of was, because we weren't when he was not laid off, because he was a steel worker, and when he was not laid off, he was making good money. But
Yeah.
there were some rough times too, because a lot of crap was going down politically back then, and foreign steel and all that other stuff, and there were some rough times where he had to take some jobs I know he didn't like. He worked on a barge, 30 days on, 30 days off. He was worked for waste management for a while. People want to make fun of the trash man, but he made good money there too.
Listen,
and that's
you know what, the trash guys, the sanitation engineers, I mean, those guys, for the most part, are not hurting for money.
No,
they're really not.
You have to give some respect too, because that was back in the days where the one guy rode in the truck, the other guy rode on the back, and they threw stuff.
Right.
You're manually lifting cans. I'm not trying, no disrespect to any of the current sanitation engineers, but you're grabbing a trash can with a freaking grabby arm and dumping it in your truck.
I'm not saying that you're full of shit, but I am saying if you say something and then you say but, it kind of negates everything you just said prior to.
This conversation seems familiar.
Right. But no, it's so like knowing what he made back then, let's say that's kind of astonishing to a 10, 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, that's a lot of money. And well, we had good times and we had rough times, but like I can just imagine, like I always wanted to break the $100,000 mark, and I thought that was like a goal. Like you get there, you're going to be set well. Now, like I look at like the $70,000 to $100,000 mark, and I'm like, I would be hurting.
Mm-hmm.
With my current spend and children and all that stuff. I'm like, I hear people, and this is not to make fun of anybody, but I hear people like, yeah, I make $30,000. I'm like, where do you live?
Okay. So I got a chance to meet Warren Powers.
Mm-hmm.
Warren Powers was a defensive end for the from 1996 to 1999. He was a D end for the Denver Broncos. And after lots of injuries and stuff, like he got 2 Super Bowl rings with Elway back to back, and it was like, all right, cool. So he's like, man, my career is over. What am I going to do with my life? He's like, all right, I'm going to give back to the community. So he's going to like a Boys and Girls Club. He's going to go like mentor some kids and stuff. And they told him, yeah, you're going to make $30,000 a year. He goes, they said, he asked the question, how much does it pay? 30,000. He goes, how often? Like, how often? You get to a point where you're
a month,
right?
Like,
30,000 a month is like is way different than 30. Like people live on this. It's like, man, and I get it, because I feel like with the increase of the cost of living, the one thing that didn't happen was the cost of wages, like how much it actually, inflation historically speaking runs at about 3 to 4%, and Rule of 72 says every 4% every 18 years, we're looking at the cost, like the value of a dollar is cut in half. So if you were making, and you look back at historically speaking, in like the 70s, if you were making $5,000 a year, that was like a really great income.
Oh yeah.
In the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, in the 80s, if you were making like 10,000, like, man, you're making really great income. In the 80s, you're talking about 20,000. In the 90s, it was 30,000. And then somewhere in the 90s, I think that's about the time that it kind of froze.
Mm-hmm.
And
the .com boom, the technology bubble,
2000s hit. Okay, $30,000 is like, oh man, but you're at the beginning of that starvation. And if you're making
beginning at one point, $25,000 was the poverty line,
right?
And that's not too far from where we're at now. Like I think it may have gone up to $30,000 is the poverty line. And there are a lot of people not making that kind of money.
Right. And they have kids.
Right. They have kids. And I understand that there's a huge conversation now about unlivable wages. And then you have people saying, well, if we raise wages, then we have to raise the prices. Well, the problem is that we haven't raised wages, but we've raised prices over the last 10 years. Hell, even over the last, I would say 5 years, like prices and inflation has just skyrocketed.
Yeah, it was running like 6.
Well, and that's where we need to go back to the discussion that we've had before on the show about companies. I mean, we sat and we talked about in my company, during this conference about, annual earnings, and we're talking like free cash flow after everything's paid, just to make it kind of as Joe Schmo as possible. Like, we're not going to get any fancy words on here. So what kind of money's left over after everybody's been paid, and we've paid all of our asset stuff and it's all taken care of. Here's the amount of money we can put in the bank, or we can use for expansion or whatever we want to do. When your company has that at the end of the year, and that number is in the 12 to 15 billion dollar range, and you come back and you say, listen, we can't raise wages, we just can't. You're a fucking liar. You know full and well you can give everybody in the company an extra 10 grand, right, 20 grand, and still be fine, and still be okay, even with an aggressive strategy to grow your business. Now, I understand, I get business analytics, and I understand that you have to have the safety net, and you've got to have room to expand, and you have to make changes for the projections, market projections. Hey, next year's not going to be as great. Well, whatever that looks like. Game of Thrones is coming to an end. Oh no! But $15 billion, and you're making decisions like, hey, listen, we're going to have a position within our company that we know is unlivable, and it burns me to see these people that will sit there and they are they're talking to folks about, well, if you could just budget and don't drink your Starbucks and don't rent any on-demand movies, and just you can manage your money. Like, we can stretch this, and then you look at the average living space for somebody like that, and it's like $1,200 a month, for a room this size, right? For a room the size of this podcast room that we're in, and that's not including any of the utilities, right? And they expect you to live with no entertainment. And like, listen, if you just pull up your bootstraps, you're just going to make it on through. Never mind the fact that I can very much afford to pay my people well for what they do. I don't want to. Right.
Well, I think that, so I don't think necessarily it's always I don't want to. I think it comes down to the fact that sometimes, and not all CEOs, okay, like sales, if you're in sales, I think your income should be whatever you make your income, because that's how you make it. However, I think when you start talking about CFOs, COOs, and all these other guys that are writing it, and we've talked about golden parachutes before we talk about guys that are making millions and millions and millions of dollars a year, and you've got someone at the bottom of the barrel, that's the peon on the ladder, so to speak. You really can't. You can't justify it. And folks, let me tell you right now, you are not going to meet a more capitalist person and a capitalist believing person than the person sitting in this chair right here. Because I do believe that you should be able to make as much money as you possibly can if that's what you need. However, do what? Chuck for president. Hey.
Do not do the Nixon thing. No.
I didn't. I just made the, I didn't.
I am not a crook.
I didn't use a voice. But what I'm getting at here is, if you have one guy that's making 7 to 8 figures a year, and you have someone that can't pay their power bill,
that's a problem.
You really need to look at your pay structure right there, because I promise you that the guy who's making 8 figures a year, 7 to 8 figures a year, could probably do without the Lexus, could probably do without the private jet. Or the things Mercedes, like that,
and the BMW.
$5,000 may not seem like a lot of money to some people, but to some people, $5,000 is the difference between paying your power bill and freezing to death.
Right.
Because I'm gonna tell you what, I'm scared to look at my power bill this coming month.
I am too.
I mean,
well, and I think that you need to make a conscious decision. I've sat and I've watched some of these folks. They've had some congressional hearings over this before, and some lesser hearings and stuff too. And you'll listen to these folks talk about things like I just said earlier, budgeting your stuff and doing this. And then folks have come in prepared and showed, okay, well, this is their rent. This is their, and we're not even talking like clothing allowance, and they're already in the negative with the salary that
and we haven't even talked about groceries yet.
Right. Yeah. If you look at a budget, a budget like contains stuff like clothing allowances, entertainment, things like that. And they would tell you the first things you need to cut your clothing allowances, take better care of your clothes. They'll say, cut your Starbucks, like you said earlier,
cut your
Netflix, cut, whatever. And while I agree, there's room to be frugal, I think in
be a robot.
budget,
So be a robot. That's
survive is what a lot of
literally
guys
show
say.
up to work,
right?
Exclusively to work. Don't have a life, and we're gonna work you till you literally die.
Right now, mind you, what I would say is instead of making an excuse, because particularly one that I'm thinking about is a bank, and I can't remember. I think it was. I can't remember what bank it was, but they were questioning their minimum salary for their tellers, and it was ridiculous. It was like, man, I can't remember. I have to bring it up. But anyway, it was ridiculous. It was almost unlivable, and especially unlivable
$10, $12
in
an hour
some
like
areas
that, right?
where rent is higher than others. But my point is, if you are a CEO of that company, and this company isn't financially struggling at all, and that can be proven just, because you're a publicly traded stock.
Right.
And
I doubt that most banks are. But
right. But you're not struggling at all. And it's not going to hurt you to pay that entry level something that's livable. Why would you die on that hill knowing that your employees that are making that wage, that are working for you, are now mentally struggling with just trying to survive versus being good employees? And I've heard all kinds of leadership folks over the years be like, well, it's not always about pay. More money doesn't solve all the problems. No, it doesn't, but it sure doesn't hurt.
It eliminates a lot of issues.
That's right.
Though.
And now if you have an employee that is financially struggling and can't manage their money, of course that, we can't solve that. They have to solve that. But you have to solve the problem of them being able to afford where they live. Like my company, for instance, has salary ranges for different parts of the country.
Sure.
If I took my wage and lived in California, I'd be struggling a whole heck of a lot more than I am now.
Yeah. But in California, you'd probably be paid twice what you're making now.
I get a job and I move to California, I'd be like, ooh, I got a lot of money. No, because milk's like $6 a gallon. So,
and so is gas.
Right.
I think what the problem is with that, Bill, I see exactly where you're at, but I think what the problem is that there are a lot of employers that are saying, well, then they can go work for somebody else.
Okay.
They can go work for somebody else. And while I agree that is a solution, I think that's a pretty crappy standpoint for an employer to look at that way, because you don't want your employees to go work for someone else, because if they do, you're going to pay more money anyway, because now you have to train another employee, which actually, increases the cost of the salaries and things like that. It just, I find it. Go ahead.
It's been proven time and time again that businesses with good compensation and benefits and employee perks have happier employees and more productive employees. You're going to have those folks that take advantage of stuff, and those folks just suck. And good leaders know how to manage the will issues out of the business, not the skill issues.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting here thinking, man, I've got to constantly be looking for better opportunities. This right now is paying the power bill and getting my belly full. I don't have what I want, but man, I really do want a Netflix subscription. I really do want a better car. I really do want to be able to have a gym membership. And I just can't afford that stuff right now, but I have aspirations to afford that stuff. I'm looking for better. Why should you relegate your employees to looking for better when you can give them a little more, put them within a livable wage that gives them a little bit of leeway, and retain them?
So I used to work for U.S. Foods, and it turned into U.S. Foods. I used to work for Allen Foods, though, before they were bought by U.S. Foods. And I will tell you that one of the owners of the company really took that mentality and really went with it, because he had employees there. Like, I remember one woman in particular, I won't say her name, out of respect for her, but there was one woman there that she needed a car to get back and forth to work. So the owner took it out of his own pocket, and he's like, I'm going to loan you the money for the car. He didn't give it to her, but he's like, I'm going to loan it to you, because he knew that he was going to get paid back because she worked for him.
Right.
He knew that she could afford to pay him back, whatever, So I think that's one of the benefits of working for smaller companies as opposed to bigger companies, because human resources policies will prevent that from happening.
Oh yeah, that would be a no-no.
Yeah, I mean, it just wouldn't fly. Guys, I'm going to take a quick minute here. I love the conversation, but I want to just kind of mention here, Taylor has actually mentioned that she loves Weather Vane. The tacos are there. If you haven't had the tacos are good. Deep fried tacos, really, really. I'm telling you, man, they've got great food over there just year round. You got hot food, you got fried food, you've got grilled food, you've got hot dogs, things like that. I mean, things are just really good over there. If you want shakes, they have shakes over there. If you want cones, they've got cones.
I'm lactose intolerant, but I'm willing to hurt myself for this place.
You should check them out, man.
You know, Chuck, she also said that Bryan doesn't like emos. And before you comment on that, she said Brian doesn't like emos.
I need to see that post because I know full and well Taylor would never besmirch me
BR-I-AN.
So she knows that you're a Y.
She really did. I'm looking.
Yep.
Yo.
And then some hot chick named Amy McElroy said she's glad I'm back. So I like that.
Yeah, we're glad you're back too.
I've been stalking her on Facebook.
With Taylor. IAN. Okay,
yeah,
I got you, T.
Yeah.
Well, I got a feeling that Amy's happier for other reasons instead of the Weather Vane hot dogs. So.
Yeah, I hope so.
Somebody else apparently is a Klingon in this.
Yeah, I went there. But yeah, check these guys out. They've got 3 locations. They've got 2 of them here in Granite over in Washington and Maryville Road, and up in Bethalto also. So
I
really
can't say
great food.
Bethalto. It's Bethalto. Like you have to say, you got to increase the bass in your word. Bethalto. Like it's.
Have you ever been to Bethalto?
I have.
Do you really believe it deserves a bass note in there?
So no,
I'm not impressed.
Absolutely not, because I've been there. But when you say it, it's got to be Bethalto. Like it's got it sounds.
Well, I've got to have something. I mean, my voice is like annoying to a lot of people, so I got to put a little bit of punch in there sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
Where I can.
Bethalto.
But next time you're in Bethalto, go check out Weather Vane Ice Cream.
There's one here.
Well, you can go here too.
Said Washington, right?
You go here. It's over in Washington, right around not too far from
us. And on Maryville Road.
And on Maryville.
Yeah, there's 2 locations in Granite because we're better than Bethalto.
So Jason has done a hell of a job over there, like, developing it and, investing in the areas because he's got a new parking lot over there on Maryville Road. And I believe that they've just put in a new dining area on the Washington area.
They worked on that building. They expanded it. It's been a long time coming. Yeah.
I will tell you, if you do want to support a small business, especially come down here to the downtown diner area and, board gamery and everything, but support them all around. Jason's and Brenda have both really been investing their time and their money into places here. So check them out, for sure. But yeah, they got 3 locations: Maryville Road, Washington Avenue, and Bethalto. They're out on Bethalto. They're out on Bethalto Boulevard.
I can't not now.
So check them out. Or you can get more information from them at weathervaneicecream.com. Can you throw that banner up there for us, Bill?
I did.
So people can see where they're going.
And I verified. I verified before you say something.
And the nice thing also, if you're a DoorDasher, these guys participate in DoorDash also. So I've ordered the Philly's cheesesteak sandwich from them before. It's really good. Oh, okay. I forgot about this because normally when I order the Philly cheesesteak, I also order the crispy fries that they've got. They got the crinkle cut fries.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Good stuff.
I love crinkle cut fries, especially when they're cooked just a tad longer.
So hold on though. Every time I get fries from DoorDash, they're cold.
Well, that's because you probably don't want to do fries from DoorDash.
Yeah, but like you get a combo meal from anywhere. You're like all excited, and then you get the fries and they're mush.
I'm kind of curious if I can say this or not without getting in trouble.
Well, you can say whatever you want on your last day.
No, that's true.
That's big facts. I think today might have been mine. I'm just saying.
All I'll say is be careful who you order DoorDash from, but Weather Vane's a safe company to order DoorDash from.
Nice.
You can definitely get that. But yeah, check them out. Support your small business guys here. Weather Vane is, let me get that number for you here. I can only see when I have my glasses. I can see other times, but 618-931-6528. You can call your order in. Go pick it up at the drive-thru, and that is the Maryville Road location. But yeah, go check them out, guys. So, back.
Yeah, so I want to make a statement, and I want you guys to tear it apart.
Go for it.
And that statement is that a company that is making year-over-year positive revenue has no business paying any of their employees minimum wage.
Heard.
A company that is making year-over-year positive revenue, no struggling, does not have a ton of debt, not actively working on reducing a ton of debt, and is in a great spot, has zero place in this world paying any of their employees minimum wage.
I would agree with that with the stipulation.
What is the stipulation?
Okay, I think that there has to be a set target, and if they're making above that target, I don't think that. So if you have a projection of 15% growth and you're only making 8% growth year over year,
of course,
first you need to reevaluate your business policies. But secondly, I have a hard time with that because you have to prepare for the bad years. I think 2008 has shown us that there can be some really bad years. Of course,
but that's an anomaly.
I think COVID showed us that there can really be some bad years. So I think if you have a reasonable growth projection, 15, 20% reasonable growth projection, I think anything over that, I think you should reward your employees, because without your employees, you're not making squat.
Yeah.
So I do agree with your statement with a little bit of a caveat there.
I can see that. I think that there's still, especially these bank positions, if you're talking about you're making, listen, there's a huge difference between a bank teller and somebody flipping burgers at McDonald's. And I'm not trying to put down the person flipping burgers at McDonald's, but the way that society's engineered that's
I think we can all agree, though, that flipping burgers at McDonald's is not a career job.
No, but here's the thing. Even
King, though.
Burger King's about to die, bro. That's
seriously.
Oh, that business model is going to the trash.
Oh, no way. Dave Winfield owns too many of them.
They're terribly, terribly in trouble. Yeah, go look that up for real. Don't. Yeah,
go ahead.
But no. So even McDonald's has a path forward. So if you wanted to make a career out of McDonald's,
absolutely, yeah,
you could move from fry cook to line cook to shift leader to and eventually be a store manager or whatever. And
you could actually be a store owner. They will walk you through that entire path.
Absolutely. And I'm not
McDonald's University.
I'm not saying that that's the place to stay.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
But there's a path forward there. But when you have somebody making minimum wage flipping burgers at McDonald's and you're paying the bank teller the same amount with more responsibility,
there's something wrong with that.
There's absolutely something wrong with that. And I understand the McDonald's and I guess you could probably, my statement, McDonald's makes plenty of money and they're not hurting. So why are they paying minimum wage? But I would challenge those types of places to offer more than minimum wage too, because here's the thing: you're going to get more dedication out of people that make more money. When's the last time that your trash guy left trash laying all over your sidewalk all the time? They didn't. They make good money.
Starting, they make like 7.
They're made. No. Listen,
left trash.
Listen, there may be an anomaly from time to time, but we're talking about when's the last time somebody screwed up your order at a fast food establishment?
Oh God.
Hold on. Let's be easy. When's the last time they didn't?
Exactly. You're probably going to have a higher percentage in that regard.
Just so we're clear, and I want to throw this in here. If you have not been to the downtown diner, you need to come. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to pull it up on my phone.
Because Bryan doesn't like emos.
Bryan hates emos. That's a true statement. But more importantly,
the opinions expressed on In the Metro are not necessarily those of In the Metro.
Can we zoom in on this?
No.
We can't zoom in?
No, but you can get closer to the camera.
Get closer. Okay, so I'm going to get closer. This was dinner a couple... I'm so
never mind the freaking blue color filter he has on his phone because he's weird like that.
Get a little closer. Show us those French fries.
Ooh, that's the 3D burger.
That is the 3D burger. Some of you guys may know it as like
the Widowmaker.
So I posted this picture on my Facebook and I said, I guess this is what I'm doing for dinner tonight. This is a 3D burger. Let me tell you what a 3D burger is. 2 patties. No. I added a second patty. Cheese, bacon, cheese fries.
You definitely were trying to stop your heart, weren't you?
Yo, I got text messages. Like my brother-in-law hit me up. He's like, yo, are you trying to kill yourself? And why am I not killing myself with you? Like, where is this magical place? Seth, we have to come back here. It's going to happen. Okay, brother? So, I have never gotten a bad burger here. I've never gotten terrible service here. I love this place. And then afterwards, I scooted on over to the Board Gamery and I ended up getting some other stuff. And I just remember sitting there just like so full. And I had to have somebody else drive me home.
Place? You look like you were in your happy place.
I was in my happy place.
They had to roll him out. They put him in the car.
There's an episode of the Boondocks called The Itis, which is really great. And they talk about how soul food puts you to sleep. You get the itis, and they created this whole business model where the tables were tables, and then they had beds instead of like seats, and you could sleep for about 15 minutes before the bed ejected you out, and the next person got a chance to come in. And it was one of the greatest episodes ever.
Does Brenda have people dollies out there that she can just kind of rotate her
I'm so
tables with?
serious. I finished and I just went. I became like the only mouth breather. I was in such a great place.
Nice.
That 3D burger. Oh my gosh.
We have to put a defibrillator in just in case.
Yo, for real. And honestly, I don't know why I say honestly. The majority of what I say is honest. I'm legitimately looking to lose weight so that I can do that more often. Not even play.
The most of what you say is honest. Is that what you just said?
That
I need you to say that again, except I need you to do it in a Bill Clinton accent.
honestly,
I did not.
I'm looking to lose some weight so that I can have more 3D burgers and cheese fries.
I
Was that the defibrillator? Like, what was that?
What you? Oh,
What do we got going on in here?
indeed,
I
I
don't
did
know.
not lose
I feel
weight.
lost. I feel a little lost.
Oh, but
Plus,
yeah,
I'm lost
yeah.
most of the show anyway. You know, so.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm 42 now, and I've got a target goal of 225, which is about 70 pounds by the end of the year.
What?
Yeah. I'm sitting about 290, 295.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
No, me neither. But then I take my shirt off and I go, yep, I'm
And there's no doubt about
295.
it, right?
Yep, there's no doubt. And the craziest thing is like diabetes and high blood pressure run in my family.
We need Wilford Brimley on the show.
What?
He's dead.
Diabetes. I know.
Ooh, diabetes.
Diabetes.
But
Diabetes.
I know I gotta, like, it's definitely there. Like I gotta do something about this. So I'm gonna train like I'm running a marathon.
You have a
I'm
partner with
not
Chris Hemsworth, you know.
good. Yo, oof.
He's got like a whole big like power workout and things. That
Chris Hemsworth. If I could eat him, I would.
Wow, this show just got
Okay.
really.
And,
So-
and what I mean is take all the essence of all the things that makes him Thor, Odin's son. I would just totally go
Okay,
for
well, next time, for reference, we need you to start with that.
Yes,
Oh,
not
yeah,
that you would eat Chris
totally.
Hemsworth.
No nom nom nom.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't. Yeah, it's not that kind of show.
No,
Okay?
no.
Not that kind of show. Not yet, anyway.
I read a book recently called Butcher and Blackbird. It came with some trigger warnings and some like, yeah, you really should know about this before we do anything about it. And what was really kind of you're in my shot, bro.
That's okay. You did that earlier too.
Look,
So
man, you
Oh,
have a
yeah.
camera over there. Just click the button and you'll be on the show.
But yeah, but one of the warnings was accidental cannibalism and on purpose cannibalism. And I was like, how do you accidentally cannibalize somebody? And then they
you did Jeffrey
explained
Dahmer's house.
how they did it, and I was like, oh, that was a rump roast,
Oh,
like a legit rump roast. It was,
I thought
Yeah.
the rump was mostly fat.
yeah, it was.
I mean, some
people
have
like that.
It was-
yeah.
The dude was killing people and then feeding them to his guests.
Oh,
Wow.
So they
What was
didn't
that
know
movie?
that it was people.
There was a movie about that.
Soylent Green.
Oh, oh, yeah. Soylent Green.
It's people.
Donner Party 5.
Oh my gosh.
What's crazy is I'm not going to sleep tonight like that. I should not be drinking that.
That
Why are
Nas?
you doing it?
Oh yeah,
You
I
got
love the
tea
taste.
and
The
Nas?
taste is really good.
Yeah.
There's a drink out there called, man, this show's all over the place tonight.
I know.
There's a drink out there called Drank.
Drank?
It's called Drank. Yeah, this guy I actually used to work with at Microsoft out in Seattle. He and basically what it was a reverse energy drink. Like it didn't help you stay awake and energized.
Was it
It
just
put you to sleep.
melatonin?
I don't know what it was, but yeah, I mean it was called Drank, and it put you to sleep. You know, I mean, it may have had a high melatonin content in it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I take melatonin to go to sleep at night because my mind just does not shut off. You know,
I agree with that.
So I've got to have something to help me go to sleep. I wish I didn't, because when I wake up in the morning after taking melatonin, it's a nightmare, man. It's a nightmare to wake up sometimes. Like, I have to set 7 alarms on my phone just to wake me up.
Is it because you sleep through the alarms?
Yes, I can sleep through the alarms. Sometimes I'll reach over and I'll go to turn it off, and it says I've missed 5 of them or whatever.
Damn.
And my phone is not quiet either. Like, when my alarm goes off, my alarm goes off, and I actually change it from like a little bitty like music or whatever to like hardcore telephone ringing, but yeah, it's.
Hey, speaking of the human consumption thing, Sweeney Todd is practicing the board game.
So that's why I didn't get coffee.
They are over there. Yeah.
That's why I didn't get coffee.
Because you're afraid they're going to eat you?
No, because I was afraid to interrupt their rehearsal.
I was just clarifying. I'm confused about your stance tonight. So.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah.
I mean, he's the one that brought up eating people, and it kind of came out of nowhere,
I'm just going to say, after reading that book, I cannot have cookies and cream ice cream for a long time.
Have you seen the musical, movie, or Broadway, or movie or stage production?
Sweeney Todd? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
I have seen it. I very much enjoy meat pies. Kind of. Oh, it reminds me. The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Like, what a concept. Just the idea of, oh yeah, nobody remembers who I am. I know you screwed me over. And now, why so serious? Like,
yeah,
bro. And then,
so let's talk about this one, because I actually had a conversation with someone recently about whether like Sweeney Todd was a something a kid could watch, or something that it may have a certain age range. What are your thoughts?
I think it depends on how sheltered your child is.
Yeah. Like, what age range would you say?
I would take my 10-year-old to watch it.
10-year-old?
Yeah. Julia could handle that, yeah.
Yeah, because she understands concepts.
Okay.
And it's not going to throw her off or traumatize her or anything like that. So
yeah.
Frank Jr. would not.
No. Frank Jr. didn't
it.
handle Haunted House.
Bro, I still have that video. That is
that
one of the greatest videos ever. And Kim was like, oh, he's so scared. And I'm like, who? And he's like,
I had to drag him through. I'm like, bro, we're in the middle of the haunted house. There's no emergency. We got to go. We got to walk forward. And I'm like, nothing is real in here. Okay, bro?
There's like, no to his 7-year-old mind, he did not.
And then we got up towards the end. I'm like, listen, it's a chainsaw. It doesn't have a blade.
That's still some scary shit, though, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so
Chuck's traumatized.
we went to the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We saw the guys on their break, like the actors on their break,
out
eating
back
pizza,
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, we knew who they were.
Hey guys, what's going on?
And then, like, we're going through it. It was a really, really cool experience.
Hey, bud, how you
We
doing?
got to that dude downstairs with a chainsaw. I knew he was there. I knew he was coming at me. I still had to check my drawers after the thing was over, man. I am not gonna lie.
Well, they're good at it. It's they're good at it.
It was really good.
He was mortified, and we're going through, and I thought that maybe during that tunnel thing in there that he would, because that was really cool. I thought he'd calm down, but nope, that freaked him out too.
It was very well done.
It was very, very, very well done. And I think even some of the actors in there were kind of like, okay, let's not screw with the kid too much. But the chainsaw kind of like sent it over the edge of and I'm like holding him into me because he wants to like go hide in a corner. I'm like, that's not going to make it better.
That's only going to keep you here.
Right.
Like, you have to keep.
Quick, let's run upstairs. He'll never find us
right.
there.
Just listen, just say, I'll be right back, and you'll be just fine.
Listen, as the only kid of color in that group, he wouldn't have made it out. Oh my God.
So I'm going to share this since you brought it up indirectly.
He broke the seal.
No, well, there were 2 girls that went in before us, 2 ladies of color. They were scared like you would not believe, and I've heard it, rumored in the Black community that you guys tend to get a little more scared when it comes to more supernatural stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, is that, would you attribute that to a Black thing, or would you not? Would you say it's just an individual thing, or how would you attribute that?
Okay, so when I moved into my apartment, the very first thing I did before I moved any of my stuff in I had a wad of sage, and you just sage the place and you bless it, because I'll be damned if I'm in bed at night and a door opens when it's not supposed to. I don't have a firearm because I don't believe in them, but I'll be I'm throwing something. Like, Chuck, I saw this really
bullets
great
are pretty
video.
effective, you know?
They are.
Chuck, I know where he lives. It's a perfect opportunity.
Got jokes.
I got jokes. I would step on a limb and say that in my years of experience on this planet, that I've noticed that the Black community is kind of smarter in the regards that they nope out a lot quicker.
Right.
When things don't look well, they're like, nope. And us white people are like, let's go check it out.
Well, there's
Black
that movie.
horror movie. Nope. Yep.
Yeah. Nope. There's the movie.
Yeah.
Nope.
We're like,
when he opened the door, he's like, they heard. He said, nope. I'm gonna sleep here for the night.
When's the last time you saw a black guy taking a selfie with a bear? Like, oh, you take a selfie. Us white people do stupid stuff like that. We're like, listen, look, it's a cheetah. It's cute. Let's pet it. No.
Did you happen to?
Why?
Yo, there's so much stuff that is coming to my brain. Like, the dendrites in my brain are like firing off. So, I don't know if you saw the video of the little girl at the zoo. She sees the silverback gorilla. She's like, yeah, and the gorilla's like shatters the glass. And everyone's like, it's time to go.
Right.
It's like, we don't do this. No. But then there was another video. This couple had just killed a lion in the safari, and they're posing to take a picture, and the lioness, like, she doesn't creep up behind them. She's like, nope, you guys are unalive now. And it was like, oh, like she just completely mauled them. Damn. And there was a video of it. It's just like, yeah, well, maybe take that picture somewhere else.
Yeah,
like,
I think there's a degree higher level of intelligence there.
Within the Black community?
Yes.
I would agree with you.
Because I am very much white. I am the palest of all the whites. And
you burn under moonlight, bro.
I really do. I really do. I should be like a poster child for a sunscreen company, because like
moonscreen too.
For real. It's legitimate.
So I was listening to, speaking of like the supernatural and things like that, I was actually listening to a sermon over the weekend, and I want to listen to it again. Our church canceled service this week because of the stupid weather, and like our furnace went out. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and
damn. Yeah, like we have 2 units, but one of them went out.
And they were supposed to do baptisms.
Are you serious?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Jesse said you were supposed to do baptisms in your 55-degree sanctuary.
Oh, yeah, I think not. But anyway, so I'm listening to this sermon, and it's talking about supernatural stuff, and it's talking about the thing that caught my attention on this was giants. Okay, I'm talking about giants in the Bible and scientific
Exodus,
proof that giants existed, and the Nephilim and all that other stuff. I found that very interesting. But then, and I'm going to hit Nick up with this also. A species of human called the ghost species. And it is, we hear about ghosts and things like that, and see ghosts, and do we see ghosts? Do ghosts exist? Do they not exist? But this guy was giving, and I've really had to listen to a little bit more on this and study this some more, but about this species of humans that are kind of here, but kind of not here either.
Like interdimensional or cross-dimensional or...
No, it's kind of hard to explain.
5, 3, 1.
But I mean, it was very interesting to hear this guy talk about all this. But I just wanted to bring that up because I wanted to talk to Nick about this next time he's on the show, because I think that kind of falls into not so much the conspiracy stuff, but like the unexplained supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
You weren't here last week when he was talking about the underground extraterrestrial bases. But I found something online earlier from a completely unrelated site that showed actual bases built into the sides of mountains and things like that. And the article kind of talked about extraterrestrials and things like that. So it was really interesting to hear that. But I just want to bring up the ghost species thing because I'd like you guys to just kind of take a look at it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then because it was really interesting, and I can send you both.
Please do.
The sermon that I listened to, because it was really good. It was from a group called God Said, Man Said, and it just kind of like balances the two back and forth, whatever. But yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
I tell you what, if anybody ought to know anything about ghosts or any after death paranormal stuff, it probably ought to be her.
Let the record show that Bill has pointed out to Miss Rebecca.
Yeah, because like, bro, I mean, that's about the closest you can get to it, other than being the doctor that pronounces it.
Yeah, but we've had some conversations.
What do
about
you
it,
mean?
So you know what she does for a living, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You and my cousin would get along so well.
I
got a cousin Desiree who, when she was 16, I'm a little younger than her, but she was like, I want to be a mortician. And I was like, who the hell wants to be a mortician? But the truth of the matter is, she is like top 5 morticians in the state of New York. Like, she really went all in.
So you're looking at number 1 through the window right now here in the state of
that's
Missouri,
what's up. So. But I mean, like, talk about making people look lifelike and whatnot. Like, she did my aunt from my mom's side, because she's on my dad's side.
Yeah.
So she did my aunt on my mom's side, my mom's sister, and she really just looked like she was taking a nap. It wasn't like, I'm dead. It was like, no. Like,
do that one more time, please.
She did.
Like,
thanks. I thought you did. Okay, cool.
But yeah, it was a legit, like, oh man, like, she really is taking a nap.
Brian's like,
poke.
I was told my mother reprimanded me for that, because
for sticking your finger on her face.
Yeah, I was like,
what the hell's wrong with you,
because
man?
I honestly expected her to. I was like, she's cold. Yeah, she's cold. She's dead, Brian.
My grandma, it was a thing that she did. She would walk up and like touch their hand. Like, stop touching corpses.
I touched the hands and things like that, and like touch the chest, whatever. I'm never going to screw around with someone's face, man.
Just so we're clear, I'm the worst person at a funeral, because we'll all go up for the viewing. And like, I remember my father's cousin, I think his name is Hendren. He died. And I have absolutely no senses about me at all. Like, I don't know. I think I might be on the spectrum somewhere.
No.
I'm just like I kid you not. I walked up and I'm looking, and I said, Dad, does he owe you money? Because that watch looks really good right now.
Oh my God.
Like, are we serious? So now it's me, my brother, my father, and they're laughing, but they're trying not to, because it's supposed to be this like really somber moment. And
you're trying to steal the watch from the corpse.
I'm not stealing. Look, if he owed my dad money, this is the last time he can collect. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, they say you can't take it with you. Tell that to all the pharaohs. But guess what? They still got raided. Okay, so like, you obviously can't take it with you. But I'm saying, instead of going and digging up the body, just take it now.
Come on, man. There's like a period you got to wait, though. So
yeah.
The pharaohs, they're not getting raided for like 2,000 years, though.
Let me see.
Like, yo, this guy owe you money?
Yeah.
Check and see if his wallet's in there, buddy.
For
Come
real.
on.
Check if the wallet's on the body. I don't know if they buried him with his ID or his credit cards. Do the company know? Do the companies know that he's gone? Because if not, then
I bet that American Express is still in there.
That's what I'm saying.
So let me ask this: where they had Shake, since you're not in the studio, wallets, credit cards, do they go with them, or they just kind of stay home? Lottery tickets.
There
you
really?
Go. There you go. I am sure she could tell all kinds of stories about
just random stuff that people want put in with them. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I want to be buried in my birthday suit.
That's definitely gonna be a closed casket.
See, I just told him to set fire. I just told him to set fire to me when I'm done. Yeah, when I've left the big blue marble, just strike a match, light my toe, and I'm good to go.
For everybody's information, Chuck has kerosene in his blood.
Well,
that's the only way that's going to happen.
I don't know if embalming fluid is
Could you imagine?
I don't think
like it starts and he's like,
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not good.
I am taking a nap. Damn it, get off me. Oh my. All right, guys, I want to thank our sponsor, Weather Vane Ice Cream, for tonight. We're going to let Brian catch his breath here.
I'm good.
Rebecca did comment that they're not cold, just room temp. That doesn't make it better. I'm sorry.
It's not 98.6.
That's like about set the butter out and allowed to get room temperature. No, it doesn't make it better.
They're an embalmy 72 degrees.
Oh God. I can't.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Guys,
Okay.
thank you for joining us tonight. We definitely appreciate it. And again, it's companies like Weather Vane that sponsor our shows and just kind of help us out. Help pay some of the bills here, and just really keep things moving. And small business, just kind of around, all around that really takes care of things and just helps the world grow. And again, if you guys are looking for something year round, check them out down there at Weather Vane. Thank you so much for sponsoring tonight. Jason, we love you for taking care of us a little bit there. And, Brian's giving you a thumbs up right there, which is kind of nice. And also we can't forget to thank our big sponsor, whom without none of this would be possible. And there's a lot of things down here either that wouldn't be possible. And that's just Bee's Novel Ideas. She has got a lock on what, people want to do down here and allowing people to do things. And it's kind of everything from, kids to adults to family.
Yes.
You have stuff to do at the Garden Gate Tea Room. You have the cinema back here. You have the Board Gamery, which is a very, very friendly place, very, very family-friendly place to do things at. Coffee. You can get books, play games, things on those lines. And if you walk right down the hall, you're going to find a great section of books in vinyl as well. And then just scoot on down just a little bit more and just take a trip back to the 50s, 60s, and check out Downtown Diner.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brian showed you earlier, the 3D burger. That's some good stuff right there, So check them out. And then for the adults, if you're looking for something to do, head on down the road just a little bit more to the Speakeasy. They got great drinks. They've got great food items up there if you want to step your game up just a little bit. And guys, if you're taking someone out on a date, or girls, I don't want to be non-PC here or whatever, Speakeasy is a great place to go. It's laid back. The drinks are great. The food is good. And you might just catch Just B. And they're singing also. They're kind of the resident performers down there. Bethany and Eric are awesome. Matter of fact, they're 2 doors over from us right now doing the rehearsals for Sweeney Todd that Bill mentioned earlier. So there's really a whole lot to do down here. And we have to thank Brenda for, presenting us with the studio space here. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the private studio that's right here to my left. If you have something that you want to do, you want a private gathering, watch some movies, check those guys out at Studio C also. There's plenty of stuff to do down here. And I know for one, I am very grateful for it. I know Kim is very grateful for it, and Engineer Bill. Yes. I know you're very plugged in to what's going down here also. So come down here some Monday night, check us out. Check the guys out on Thursday night also, the Mostly Hockey guys. And while you're here, grab something from Garden Gate Tea Room. It's typically one of their later hours here. So again, thank you to Weather Vane Ice Cream for sponsoring us. And I think Engineer Bill's got one last thing to say.
Just to let them know we don't have any outro music tonight.
We don't have any what?
Outro music.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's going to be a hard close tonight, folks. We don't have any outro here, so I'll just be like,
we're done, and it's
have a great one.